Hello. ¿Cómo están, guys? Well, welcome to my first video. My name is Elsie, and I just want to say welcome first. If I'm a little awkward, I've never done this, but I've been wanting to do this for I've been going back and forth, So just first of all, welcome. You're either watching this or came across this because I'm 100% sorry. You probably think you injured your ACL, or you already know, and you're just kind of searching and looking for any kind of, video or, I don't know, whatever you can find on the internet to see what you're going to be expecting, It's what I did. So I totally understand, and I am sorry you're going through it. It sucks. But hey, you came across me. I hope I can bring some knowledge. And then the other reason you came across my videos is because you're trying to support me, the homies. Thank you very much. And well, basically, like my title says, this is my first video I'm doing, well, I guess ever, but also in regards to my ACL injury. I'm calling it my origin story. I'm just gonna try to make a simple rundown of my experience so far, how my injury happened, kind of just go through a simple, hopefully quick story time on how I injured myself and where I am at right now. So let's kind of get into that already. Whatever you're doing, if you're eating lunch or on the bed, sitting, whatever, wherever it is you find yourself. So let's start off with me. I am 28 years old. I would like to say that my lifestyle is moderately active. I got a dog, a chocolate lab, so he keeps me busy, he likes to run and swim. So we live in Oregon, so during kind of even early fall, summertime, springtime is when we start, going on hikes and going to the river and all that fun stuff, fishing and camping and all that great stuff. So that keeps me going. The dog, walking him, going to the dog parks and stuff. But also 3 to maybe 5 times a week I would try to hit the gym. I wasn't too consistent with that, but I like to stay active, and thankfully Oregon allows that, especially in the summertime, to be outside especially. But yeah, I would like to say I'm moderately active. I'm no pro athlete or anything like that. I came across a lot of videos of college students or athletic college students, high school athletes, fitness people who got injured, and it's like, that's not me, I'm just an average Joe who got injured at just a regular get-together soccer game. So just want to give a background on my lifestyle. I'm not like a super athletic person, but I like to be active, right? So I'm not too overweight. I'm a little chunky, but I'm active. I like to be active whenever I can. So knowing that, I am going to start with my injury day. March 13th of this year, 2024, is when I got injured. So me and some friends and friends of friends, whoever gets together, we've been playing soccer for the last 5 years. Of course, COVID interrupted there, but even then we'd get together outside to play soccer's every Wednesday. It was hey, who can get together? In Oregon, it never rains, right? So we're just always outside. No, but during the late fall, winter, of course, even into the spring, we would we rent an indoor soccer field, and we all chip in and whatnot. But even outside, we tend to play on turf. Now I know this is kind of a little off topic, but I know that they say a lot of injuries happen on turf, especially indoors. Like there's just crazy injuries that happen during indoor soccer fields. So that is where I injured myself during just indoor scrimmage Wednesday night with the gang. Nothing crazy, you know. I wish I had a crazy ass story to tell, but literally what I thought was a normal jump hop type of deal to block a pass. When I landed, I knew my foot landed flat. It was my left leg that I injured. Left foot landed flat. I'm pretty sure my foot was kind of facing the left side, and when I landed, my knee somehow was kind of more straight right angled, and then that is when I felt, you guys, say this is my knee, right, and spending. I felt like my bones like separated and came back. I took myself down to the floor and my knee was locked for like a minute. I also was scared to move it, if I'm honest. But after I was on the floor, you know, some teammates helped me up. I tried to kind of test it. You know, I wanted to land or step on it to see if, you know, it was good or not. And then I felt that kind of bone separation again. And I was just like, I can't, you know, continue. That was just 20 minutes into the scrimmage. And so after that, a teammate got me some ice and I was just icing it for the rest of the time. Got carried to my car. I was contemplating going to seek medical attention then and there, but you know how we are. We're like, let's just wait and see what happens. But then at the same time, I knew my work probably wanted some kind of know if I was going to be calling out for a good while, because I do walk a lot for my job. So I go home. My husband is working out of town, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get inside of my house right now? And I like call up my cousin who lives around me, and I was like, hey, if I send you some money, can you go get me some crutches? Which I had never used before. I've never injured myself to this extent, never broken a bone, nothing like that. And so him and his girl did me the favor to go find me some crutches. And all right, I have the crutches. By this time it's already dark outside, because here in Oregon, I don't know if it's everywhere, but you know, during that March, February, January time, it gets dark already, like 6. So it's ridiculous. So it was like already dark outside. I've never used crutches before. I have to walk on lawn, grass to get to my door. I have my soccer bag with me, my duffel bag, and I'm like, okay, I can do this. And it hurt even just to like try to keep my leg propped up to use the crutches. And it hurt if I just dangled my leg. So I was like, oh my gosh, you know, let's just get to the door, right? That was the #1 mission at that time. I get to the door and I forget that there is 2 steps to get to my door. And I'm like, 2 steps, you think nothing of it when you're good and healthy. But with crutches, I was like, I don't even know how to go up these steps right now. And I was just not thinking about it. I wasn't, you know, in the right mind, you could say, to be smart enough to Google it, watch a YouTube video, whatever, you know. I just wanted to get inside. My dog was crying because he obviously knows I'm there, and you know how they get all excited and frantic when you get home. So I was like, okay, I gotta do this. I tried to do the first step, but I was thinking too much about it and I fell back. Used this damn left leg, and the worst feeling yet again. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get seen by someone. It was maybe already like 8:30 or 9 at this time. I actually don't remember how I ended up getting up on those steps, but I did it. I left my bag somewhere outside, and mission was just get inside, call my cousin again, and see if he's able to take me to get seen somewhere. So it took me a total of 30 minutes to get from my car into my house that night. It was crazy, right? But point being, managed to find an urgent care to see me. The doctor there, which was a relief, said, hey, your bones are all where they're supposed to be. I don't feel that they have like dislocated or anything like that. Everything appears to be intact right now. And I was like, okay. He says the concern is the insides, the tendons. He pulled up a picture on Google of all the tendons that we have in our knee, which is crazy. It's a lot. And he's like, the concern would be something's going on. But of course we need imaging, aka an MRI, to see inside. I don't even think x-ray is needed. And I was like, okay. But I would have thought that they would have set me an order for an MRI, but he just ended up sending a referral to see the orthopedic specialist. They specialize in bones and joints, all that fun stuff. So that was March 13th. I got an appointment with the orthopedic specialist March 25th. And by that time, they had told me, hey, don't put any weight on it for the time being until you get seen. And they gave me a brace, and then they gave me crutches too. So I ended up with like 2 pairs of crutches, but I'm using the ones that we bought because they feel better, and I could adjust them to my height more than the ones they gave me for some reason. But anywho, so I get seen March 25th. That doctor was like, yeah, suspicion is ACL. Gone. He's like, that's, common injury, happens to athletes who do that pivot motion. And I was like, right. He's like, that is actually something that, if it is the case, surgery happens right here in this facility. You don't have to go to the hospital, nothing like that. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, but we need MRI, to make sure that's what's going on, or see if there's something else going on. And they did an x-ray there too, which looked fine. Bones, fine. So that was good, because that was my feeling of what happened, right? But, so after that, I didn't ask, which was my fault, to see what I was supposed to do in the meantime, or what I couldn't do. They just said no work, obviously, because I couldn't walk, and that's a big part of my job. And they didn't really say either, which was my bad, because I don't know, maybe I just thought that they would tell me more instructions. But in my mind, it's like, okay, now let's wait for MRI. But at this point, you guys, like, it hurt to try to extend my leg. It hurt to fully bend it. Like, it was just stuck in this weird, like, I don't know what you would call it. Like a weird 100-degree angle, maybe. It was just like slanted kind of all the time. And I'd put pillows under to try and sleep. It was just, the muscles were so tense. I don't know if you're going through this, if you that they couldn't relax. So that was the discomfort. Pain mostly was on my knee when I would try to lay it flat or try to bend it. Otherwise, it was just discomfort of my whole leg muscles just not relaxing. So they were just tense this whole time and tight. So luckily, because of my work and insurance, I was actually able to get my MRI done 2 days later. So on the 27th of March, most discomforting time. I've never had an MRI, but obviously I knew it had to be flat while the thingy was going, while I was in the tube. So they obviously forced my leg to get as straight as it could and kind of like strapped it in this foam thing. And my muscles were just like hardcore spasming left and right. And I was like trying to breathe through it all, trying not to move because I didn't want to restart it or whatever it is they do. They had put music, in headphones, and I asked for Shakira, but even she wasn't helping me just through anything. But luckily it happened. So they got good images or whatever. I did not hear until that following week on Monday. The assistant gave me a call, and this is what she said, and this is why I guess my mind went crazy a little bit. She said, so the doctor says the MRI shows complete ACL tear, so snapped, gone, and torn medial and lateral meniscus. So in my head, I'm like, so ACL's obviously, gone. I don't know where it's cut, but snapped somehow. And then my meniscus, so the meniscus are like two little shock things we have in our knee in between our bones, I believe, that come together. They help they help absorb the shock waves, you could say, when we're running, we're walking, things like that, or jumping. So I thought those things were like completely torn also, which is, if you start searching that stuff, it's not good. It is not good. So in my head, I was like, oh my gosh, can I even like move my knee? Is that gonna like mess it up more? Like, and again, I did not ask the young lady. I didn't, say, okay, well, like, what do I need to do? Obviously they said you need to see a surgeon now to talk about that. And if that's an option for you. So they told me that. So I had to now talk to the scheduler to get an appointment with the surgeon, but I did not ask what I could and could not do or what I should be doing, which is my bad, like a big my bad. I should have, but and you'll know why next. So I talked to the scheduler department, and they say you can see the surgeon April 10th. So you guys, my injury happened March 13th. Now I'm seeing the surgeon April 10th, almost a whole month from initial injury date. And I have not really moved my leg at all. My dad would come and massage the area, which felt really good, and it felt kind of more relaxed, and I was able to extend it a little bit more every time he would come and do that. But it was just, my whole leg was just so tense. And I didn't, again, ask, what should I be doing? What shouldn't I be doing while I wait? So that was a big my bad. Because the day comes, I see the surgeon April 10th. And he's like, did they explain to you what exactly is going on? I was like, they told me what the MRI saw, but, So he drew a picture and basically, drew the knee, and the ACL is the tendon that kind of like I believe it's kind of diagonally helps stabilize that pivot motion. When we turn, we subconsciously use it to turn, and when we pivot, all that stuff keeps it stable. And he's like, if it's torn, or it is torn, you should be able to just walk straight, no problem, even go up and down stairs at some point. And I was like, okay, in my head, I was like, oh, you can't do none of that. I'm even too scared to just even stand on it at this point. But that's just my mind, of course. But anyways, he's like, so that one, he drew a line through it. He says, snapped. And now your meniscus. He explained, they kind of absorb the shock waves or whatever. I don't know if they're called shock waves, but they absorb, when we run and all that stuff. So he drew a picture. He says both of them have a small tear. Oh my gosh. Already, I'm like, okay, good. Because I thought they were like completely torn also, because that's what the lady said. But small tear on both of them, awesome. He says I should be able to go in and repair it with stitches. So I was like, okay, good. He's like, but now the main concern at this point is that your knee is so stiff that if I even or anyone tries to do surgery right now, recovery range of motion is gonna be nothing compared to your good leg, the right leg. So he's like, so what we have to do before we even discuss surgery as an option is get you into what they call prehab, which is physical therapy before surgery. And you guys, that day after that appointment was probably one of the most difficult days, I'm not gonna lie. Mostly because it had already been a month, no work. Work is waiting. I have to deal with all that paperwork stuff, which will be another video because that is another topic. But, no working. I've just been home, basically laying or sitting. It's hard to, go to the bathroom and shower even. And then you get told you have to do physical therapy for, I'll see you again in a month. To even discuss if surgery is an option. I was like, oh. It felt like a big setback because, my mind was like, I'm going to go see the surgeon and they're going to give me a surgery day and we'll get this show rocking and rolling, right? Get myself back to a normal life again. But no, he's like, you need physical therapy. And I was like, that makes sense. It's not his fault. It's my fault. So after my little breakdown, meltdown, you could say, it was just very hard for me to accept that. But I was like, whatever, I got to do what I got to do to continue, to progress here. So I get home, have my meltdown. Then I start calling physical therapy offices because, so I'm in the medical field, and so I know lately things have just been terrible, like getting appointments for even like dogs, vet appointments. Everything's just so backed up for whatever reason. So I know that I'm going to be calling multiple places to see who can get me in soon because, the longer I wait for that, the longer I'm going to be waiting for surgery because the surgeon said, when I see you in 1 month, you need to fully extend your leg. Bending has to be there. It doesn't have to be the best as your good leg, but I want to see some bending. And he wanted me to walk. And I was like, I don't know if I could do that, but I had to, right? So I got home that day. I called my insurance's preferred physical therapy office first, and they're like, ma'am, we've had a waiting list of 1,000 patients since January. And I'm like, okay, good day, bye-bye. So then I start calling what your insurance calls in-network clinics. They won't really cover all, but they're in their network of facilities they will cover. So I was like, at this point, I just need to see somebody. So I called like 3 different clinics. One was able to see me actually the next day because they had a cancellation. And they're like, yeah, we can actually get you seen tomorrow. But we are pretty booked up and busy. So we can't promise that we're able to, because they usually schedule you however many times a week they want. The therapist wants you to be seen within, like, they schedule weeks and weeks out for you. She's like, so we can get you seen tomorrow for your initial visit, and then after that we can, depending on what the therapist says, we can put you like on a priority cancellation list or whatnot. And I was like, yep, I don't care, put me down. So then saw the physical therapist the next day, and that was very discomforting, but it was like a weird, bad, good pain because, they're obviously, it was just so tight, so they were like massaging, so it was like good pain, but bad, and then when they were trying to extend it, you know, that was very painful, but they helped me. I feel like like I went through like a little like I can't compare it to labor, but you know how they teach you how to breathe through the contractions. Like that's what they kind of taught me, how to breathe through the pain, because you know it is all like a mind thing. If you get yourself in control, you can get through the discomfort. So you know the guy taught me all that stuff, and he's like, all right, what's the goal right now? And I, you know, gave him the whole spiel, and he's like, all right, I think we can do it. And so then physical therapy journey started, which will be another video for you guys. I'm talking about that. But you know, physical therapy was a thing. I was scheduled to see the surgeon again May 13th. So that was the goal, you know, fully extend, do some bending, and possibly be walking. It wasn't until maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks into physical therapy that I was actually able to schedule they wanted to see me 2 times a week. So I did a lot of home exercises, which will be another video. But, you know, I did everything they were telling me to do. And then once I got kind of more established with one physical therapist 2 times a week, which is completely awesome. I love that therapist. She's helped me out a lot. By the time I got seen, May 13th, I was able to fully extend my leg. Bending was there. Not the best, but more than 90 degrees. I was able to walk, but with the crutches, so I was able to put my foot down with some weight and walk with the crutches. So not fully able to walk, but I saw the surgeon that day, and he liked it. He liked what he saw. And he's like, all right, let's go get surgery. So that same day, I'm just kidding. So he's like, yeah, I guess we're ready. He's like, let's do surgery. He's like, for someone your age and your gender, blah, blah, blah. I really do think that the patella tendon graft is going to be a great option. And that is what I usually like to do if someone is, you know, qualified. I've been very successful. He does surgery for the University of Oregon athletes, and he uses the patellar tendon. He says it's one of the strongest that they found to lower risk of re-rupture. There's always the risk of re-rupture, but that one's so far, I guess, number-wise, less risky for re-rupture. Because I believe they also take quad and hamstring grafts from your own body, of course, which I believe is better so that your body doesn't reject it if you get like a cadaver or like an animal graft of some sort. So there's all these pros and cons, right, to all these different methods of reconstruction, the ACL. And also an option would be just don't even get it fixed, right? You can walk straight without the ACL. You can do stairs without your ACL. People actually can go or have gone years without even knowing that their ACL is like completely torn. I don't know how, because, well, I guess it all depends how the injury happened, right? Because he did explain also that my bones were bruised because they did like do a kiss fracture, so they twisted into each other and then came back to normal. So I think that also stumped me, and why my knee, the inside was really more swollen and tense. So because I've, you know, per the YouTube video, some people are able to like walk like a day or two after, you know, it's unstable and obviously they know something's wrong, but they can like walk and all this stuff. So I don't know, definitely depends how your injury happens. So don't be discouraged if you see other people progressing more after injury or whatnot, because everything's different. Our bodies obviously went through different traumas. So, you know, this is what happened to me. So I am now outside. My camera had turned off because it was overheating, and then I re-recorded and then there was no sound. So point being, I'm re-recording here. I'm outside because I came out here with good old Rufus. But after, you know, the surgeon said it was okay, I was able to get my surgery date June 13th, pre-op visit June 3rd. So excited to get things going. Nervous, maybe a little scared, you know, having to redo basically everything I've already done to get to this point to walk with my brace. Which, by the way, guys, this lovely brace is something you're going to be needing if you're electing to do surgery. Just for some reason it feels very comfortable, and I feel confident with it on. Maybe just the mind game, you know, now that I can walk after almost 2 months, you know. But it's exciting to get to this point, and I know I'm gonna go back to you know, after the surgery and healing time, go back to where I was in the beginning. But if I got here this time, I know I'll get here hopefully even better and stronger after surgery. But that being said, you guys, I'm wrapping this up here. I hope you like and subscribe. I'm gonna be uploading other ACL videos, exercises to do at home, tips, things that just come up that I think is worth me uploading a video for. And then hopefully you'll see me in the between now and later. Today's June 1st. Okay, so hopefully I'm able to do some things before surgery that I know I won't get to do for a while. This is all mentally, emotionally stressful, hard. So please, if you're going through this, anything positive you can think of, keep thinking positive. You know, stick to whatever the doctors tell you. Ask questions, please. We have to advocate for ourselves. That being said, again, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, morning, evening, night, wherever you find yourself. You have a good one.